It's week 4 of the National Football League. And coming up, we'll see Keaton Mitchell. He had a nice effort a week ago with a pair of touchdowns. It's the Ravens and the Browns, and it comes your way next on Madden Football.
Fun times in Cleveland ahead as we join you by the Lakeshore here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Today it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two teams each hoping to get back to 500, and we're underway in week 4. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Leading them out is their quarterback, the former 12th overall pick. Some refer to him as the natural, Deshaun Watson.
I loved his quote during the week. If I were a defensive back, I would have wanted to play against me last week as well. He's trying to eliminate those turnovers, those interceptions, and get back on the positive side of the ledger, throwing touchdown passes.
Yeah, had 4 of those picks, led to the loss. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Give them 15 yards to start their first drive of the game.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Patrick Queen able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive.
And he's going to go down again. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure. And it's a loss of 6. They'll make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively. And not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling me.
Under pressure, they got him again. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting on a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
Here's Mitchell now to kick off the drive. They'll get it across the 35. It'll be 2nd down. The numbers last week for Mitchell. He was creeping up toward 200 yards. Thought he was going to get there. Didn't quite make it, but also 2 rushing touchdowns.
And even if he only got about half those numbers this week, his team would take it in a heartbeat, wouldn't they? Because last week, He was spectacular.
Right back to Mitchell here. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37. We can look at this Browns defense. They're right around the middle of the pack, number 15 of the NFL against the run.
I jotted down in my notes in prepping for this game that this is definitely an area we got to keep an eye on, because you talk about where they rank in stopping the run, but how about what they're facing? This unit loves to run the football, and they rank highly in the league in getting it done.
Yeah, power against power. Something's got to give. And that is too far out in front. He couldn't haul it in. Incomplete. Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10.
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
To throw is Watson. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Roquan Smith gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot.
Well, how about this? A fistful of sacks already. We're not even out of the first quarter yet. What an incredible start for this defense. If they keep this pace up, they could be looking at an all-time performance.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Nick Chubb racing to the end zone. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb with career touchdown number 70. And the Browns will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone, I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Zerline connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. On the return, Devin Duvernay. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a 2nd opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
DC, right? Delay of game, offense.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Still first down.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Running left, here's Mitchell. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson. The Ravens at 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And they fell in the opener, got back on the beam with a win in week 2, but stumbled again last week to fall under 500.
And despite that stumble, I don't think anyone's too concerned because they've made mistakes that they believe are correctable. And this is a team still getting to know each other. I'm not that concerned, and neither are they.
Oh, a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means he'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Jackson to throw. That is caught. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Able to convert on 3rd and 14, a terrific play call. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. First carry now for Justice Hill. And he gets this inside the 10 to the 9. It's also a gain of 9. After 1, 7-0. On EA Sports. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 2nd and 1 coming up. Up the middle, here's Mitchell. And the Ravens are going to be set up with a 1st and goal as good running gets him down to about the 4-yard line.
1st and goal, Baltimore.
Mitchell will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Mitchell. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. A great play there with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Ravens are an extra point away from evening this one up. So, partner, it was a passing game that drove them down the field, but when they get close, they trust that man in the backfield, and he took them home.
And they trust their offensive line as well because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. Now Nick Chubb and the Browns get set for their next possession. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
I'm sure he said challenge accepted. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. This is the tight end, Njoku. So the completion good for 7 there, and it's 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Watson. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. suffering. He's to the 15. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick six. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just want to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick six.
Justin Tucker in the kickoff for Baltimore.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one.
The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. Now, he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in second and long yardage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Back to throw, Watson.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th. Here's Corey Bojorquez now. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. This is taken at the 23. Fighting through. Oh, another great move.
A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They're starting to put some space here. You know, first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They've jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A very solid gain of 27.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
First down, here's Mitchell.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that his defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now it's Jackson being chased out left. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
Facing 2nd and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not just handle this one? Got all the yards you needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. They'll run with Mitchell.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Down here near the goal line, you don't think of a cornerback in run coverage, but he made the stop.
Yeah, most of the cornerbacks we know, they want to be those pass defenders and take away one half of the field. But the best ones in the game are the complete cornerbacks, able to tackle and run support, as we just saw there.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Once more with Mitchell. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A very valuable 9-yard pickup, and now they're set up a little better here for 3rd and goal. Here's Mitchell, and this time he is in. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Ravens go up by 2 touchdowns. So his strong first half continues as he finds the end zone here for the 2nd time.
And definitely good blocking at the point of attack, and you just have to love watching the way he can create space down near the goal line, and he's able to take it into the end zone.
Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 21-7.
Round 7. Justin Tucker to kick off for Baltimore.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. With the football going back over down to the Cleveland Browns. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. To throw on 2nd is Watson, and he'll go right back to Moore, complete again. First down now, but the clock continues to move. Watson off play action. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it, and he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. That bumps us up to a 3-possession game here, and only in the 2nd quarter, Charles. They're trying to put this game out of reach before we even hit the locker rooms for intermission.
What's even tougher is making up 3 possessions against a defense that can make impact plays like this. They don't have this game wrapped up quite yet, but 2 picks already, 1 to the house. I think it's fair to say they're headed in the right direction.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Round 7. Justin Tucker to kick off for Baltimore.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. The Browns now going to take over late in this first half. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Fresh off the pick 6, it's Watson. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
He's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. On 1st down, Watson. A quick throw there is incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
Here's 2nd and 10. Again, it's Watson. Under a heavy rush. rush, and down he goes. Patrick Queen. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. This time they stay on the ground. And he's got room. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Now it's Watson. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
On 2nd and 10, Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. Following that sack, Watson and the Browns backed up for a 3rd and long. They'll throw now on the final play. And his throw is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital. And it's the Steelers who are out in front. Kenny Pickett has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, we move to H-Town to check on the Texans at home. And
we'll jump right over halftime and keep the game going here in Week 4. 2nd half kickoff, ready to go. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the 2nd half. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Raven offense set to start this 3rd quarter. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 18. On play action, they'll throw. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Now a 2nd and 10. A handoff from Mitchell running left. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. I really enjoy watching Lamar Jackson run those RPOs, Charles, but I'll tell you what, it's tough calling play-by-play because you don't know whether he handed it off or kept it.
Makes you focus, doesn't he? You've got to try and stay with it, and even when we do, we often can get it wrong because our eyes naturally go to him because he creates big plays. But if you're a runner and you're playing with Lamar Jackson, aren't you happy? He creates so much concentration on him, it should open up things for you.
They geared up and took the deep shot downfield, but it turned out it wasn't one-on-one coverage. Extra defenders in the area, and that one winds up incomplete.
And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. Going for it, it's Mitchell. There he goes again. Inside the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there, with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. And the Ravens' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That 3rd one, That's the most spectacular run he's had in the ball game. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Tucker with the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Under pressure, and they got to him again.
Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time, multiple guys get to him.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game. And now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away.
Let's take it inside his own 40. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. An opening there on that first down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. It's been a struggle for him accruing yards in this game passing the football. So there he said, hey, I'm going to try to chuck it deep, but another incompletion.
Has to be a little bit frustrating because of what you just described. It's been a struggle for him here in the second half, hoping for one big shot to get him out of the doldrums.
3rd and 2. Here's Jackson. Flush to his right.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A big one there on 3rd down. They hit for 30 yards.
Everything's been going right here in this one. This offense, they've been in complete control from the outset. And here's another big play. These kind of routes have been open all game long, and they continue to take advantage.
A give here to Mitchell.
They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They work now on 2nd and 9.
Hey, Ozzy, shut up. Go ahead.
Once again, it's Mitchell.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line.
132 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Give running right is Mitchell.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line.
They run over center with Mitchell. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Eluding the pressure right. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone. And that's exactly what he did there.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter.
Round 7. Justin Tucker to kick off for Baltimore.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. He's got his target. That's complete. A big play that time for Cleveland. 45 yards. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. And we're back now here in Cleveland. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. There's a nice move. And he's going to be down close to a 1st down at the Ravens 16. 125 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. The Browns on 3rd down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. Push. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Browns get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Well, they were looking to pick up the 1st down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage partners. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
Zerline good with a PAT, and that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25.
Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's come together for you. Big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game.
Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
Well, there's absolutely been no stopping this offense today. They already have the big lead, obviously. Here in the fourth quarter, they could coast to the end, but right now they're not passing up any chances to put up some garbage time yardage.
And, partner, why would they? Because who knows the next time you'll be playing as well as you have today. When you're in that zone, you go ahead and take full advantage of it. You don't worry about your opponent. You just worry about what you're doing.
This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings, the things that you have to do. Late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. Jackson now, forced out to his left. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down and a 21-yard gain.
And, Brandon, this is the time of the game when Jackson could really take over. He's got the defense's legs a little bit tired. He's got them on the run.
Yeah, this defense looks gassed, and you're exactly right. Second half. Oh, poor decision there, and it's going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Denzel Ward.
And the Browns are going to take possession here at their own 33. They exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And, Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball. And that one was picked off.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Watson on first down. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Back to the air, Watson on second down.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game films from the prior game when they got clobbered. That was his way of putting it behind him.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Desperation time. Watson on fourth down. And now Watson throws another interception. Picked up by Jalen Armour-Davis. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line. That is now seven interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing sub-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds a defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback, I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
Fourth down, here's Jackson. Throwing quickly for Mark Andrews. And he is going to have a Ravens first down as they find a way to convert there on 4th and 6. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. On the handoff, Mitchell. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 170 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times. On first down, they go back to Mitchell. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of...
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Justin Tucker lining up for
Well, not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And they're set up in a golden position here right around the 10-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Edwards now on 1st and 10. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the fourth, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%, but it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play it. Full speed, all out.
Browns 14.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. Cleveland offense making their way out. But we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's Watson. Right back to Njoku. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain there of 21 yards. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off season, but on game day, you both want to show your best, and I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Baltimore, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they'll drop down to 1-3, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.